The guests and discussions on this show are not endorsed by the show or show host. The content is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Nothing you hear is intended to substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, and/or treatment by a qualified health professional.
Welcome to Health Revolution with V, your integrative health adventure. Welcome to the show. I am so excited to have you here today. We have another amazing guest on the show, and this is Health Revolution with V. It's an integrative health adventure. And each week there's going to be someone different coming on the show, whether it's a practitioner, a physician, some kind of wonderful product or service. That's every single week we have something different. And you can see past shows at eatingwithv.com, where you can find all of the shows and you can watch anything you want from the website or from my YouTube channel. So without further ado, I want to introduce Dr. Shelley Anderson. She is amazing. She's with Terrapin Chiropractic. She has a very unique practice, and I want to share with you some information about Dr. Shelley. So she is qualified and experienced chiropractor who is a Life University graduate. She has been helping patients in South Florida to regain their health and wellness since 2015. Using scientifically validated evidence-based treatments to solve patients' health problems and achieve wellness goals. Dr. Anderson leads with following her passion for serving her community. She prides herself in being a certified Webster's Technique practitioner, a specific chiropractic analysis and adjustment that optimizes the mother's pelvic function in pregnancy and birth. Dr. Anderson is also trained in pediatrics and Gonstead chiropractic technique. So obviously we have a lot to talk about today. So let's get to it. Welcome, Dr. Shelley.
Welcome. Thank you. Welcome too. Sorry.
It's great to have you here. I actually see Dr. Shelley. She's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
So let's dive right in because we have a lot to talk about. You have a lot of great stuff to share. So can we start with how did you get involved? Like, how did this journey start for you, the chiropractic journey?
Well, I guess I predestined it when I was a child. I caused my mom to fall skiing, and she slipped a disc really bad, and this was in maybe late 80s, early 90s, and surgeons just wanted to cut the nerves, didn't really want to help her. They told her she may not even walk again. Excruciating pain. She opened up the Penny Saver, which is a local paper, and there was an ad for this chiropractor, and chiropractors weren't on every block where I lived at this time.
Right.
So she decided to try it, and that was a Gonstead practitioner also, who also graduated from the school I went to.
Wow.
So my mom started seeing her over 6 weeks. I mean, my mom was in really rough shape, most excruciating pain, and within 6 weeks, the chiropractor recommended acupuncture to help get the inflammation out of the disc space so she could move the bone back to where it needs to go. And my mom was running by the end of the summer. And
amazing.
Was fine, never had issues ever again.
So that created your passion, like from young. You were like, wow, they helped my mom. Like, this is what I want to do. I want to help people. Imagine finding your purpose like at that age. That's exciting.
I didn't think it was my purpose, but when I was 18, I was working at a job and I was lifting things I shouldn't have. And I also had a bad fall and started getting really severe sciatic nerve pain. Oof. So I started to go see the same chiropractor and wound up being interested in it, and then wound up actually taking a job with her. So left the restaurant and started working with her, and all through college I worked for her and got the chiropractic bug. Just could not stop talking about the amazing things I saw in her office. And everyone's like, why don't you just go be a chiropractor? I'm like, I was going to school to be an art teacher, just liked art, wanted to teach kids. And then suddenly one day I was just like, why don't I?
For sure, absolutely. And she did. And when she started, she was actually a mobile chiropractor, which nobody was doing. Like, she would haul the table to you and do mobile chiropractic. So she really beat the streets to get her. I have a lot of respect for Dr. Shelley. She worked very hard to open up her practice. And now she has an actual physical location where you can come and see her. So let's talk a little bit more about the Gonstead technique. So why don't you share with our viewers what that's about?
Clarence Gonstead he was a mechanical engineer. He had rheumatoid arthritis, and a chiropractor fixed him. And this was a very long time ago. I mean, he died in 1978, so many years ago. So he went to Palmer School of Chiropractic in Iowa and learned under Palmer. And then he took the Palmer technique and perfected it being a mechanical engineer, made it even more specific. So full spine x-rays where you're analyzing the x-ray, determining which way the bone is stuck. And then there's an instrument called a nervoscope or a thermoscope, depending how old school you are, and you run it down the spine, and you look for heat fluctuations in the spine. That tells you where the inflammation is. Where there's inflammation means that there's pressure being put on the nerve. The pressure is on the nerve because the disc in between the vertebrae is displaced. So now you got to go to those bones to get the disc back in between them so it can stop popping out and putting pressure on the nerve.
So it pretty much takes you right to the area that needs work.
Yes.
Instead of like playing the guesswork or just kind of.
We don't chase symptoms.
Right.
We'll listen, and we're very enduring people and empathetic, and we'll listen to what your symptoms are, but we'll take your symptom and figure out what the actual cause is. So that's the scope helps narrow that down. Then you compare the scope finding to where that bone looks like on the x-ray, and then you start motioning it and confirm how it's stuck to what you're seeing on the x-ray as well. So you know for sure what way the plane line is with that disc, which way your hand needs to be on that bone to contact it, which way you need to pivot it back, because it can be wedged, it can be posterior, it can be pushed to the side. There's so many combinations of way that bone is stuck.
And it's very precise.
Yes.
I know I've had work done with Dr. Shelley, and she does a lot of different analyzing, for lack of a better word, and then works out an area, works on that specific area that she found, and then we'll revisit it, right, with another diagnostic type technique to make sure that the area has been corrected, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So just to make sure we got enough of it that visit, or if I feel if I don't like it, or I'll remotion if it's not moved enough, I'll go back there and see if I can get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah. I've experienced that. It's amazing. And what she does is very unique, because she puts you in several different positions too to find different areas that are in a traumatic state, so to speak, or out of balance. So what is different? Your approach to chiropractic, and I've been to a lot of different chiropractors. Your approach to chiropractic is quite different. So can you explain a little bit more about that? How your approach is so different?
I guess you could call it holistic, because I'm all about letting the body heal itself. So I look at it as I find the problem, I fix it. As Dr. Gonsa says, find it, fix it, leave it alone. Find it, fix the problem, and then let the body heal itself. I remove the neurological interference that's causing the stress in the nervous system and the dis-ease in the body. Get rid of the interference and the body will heal itself. So what's also different about me is I don't do treatment plans with patients, because every visit is, what do I want to do next? It's like I'm replanning and refiguring out. Sometimes I feel I may need to see the patient that next day because they're really in rough shape, or I feel they're doing well. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of days off to let your body continue to rest and heal. Because if you do too much, it sometimes can make it worse. You got to know when to back off.
Right.
Which that's why I can't do treatment plans. I have an idea of maybe how I want to see someone, or if I feel like, or if they were in like a really bad car accident or something, that's a little different situation. But for the standard patient, you got to know when to back off, when to adjust, and go from there.
Sure. Well, we definitely have a lot more to talk about. We need to take a quick break and honor our commercial sponsors. Those are the people, local businesses that have helped to make this show possible. So we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away. Have you been told that you need to cut way back on sugars due to a health condition? Do you find yourself struggling to give up the sugars even though you know your health depends upon it? If you answered yes, my online Hidden Sugars class is for you. Take charge of your health and visit eatingwithv.com and take the class.
Apex Electric is a family-owned and operated, licensed and insured electrical contractor with over 30 years of experience. No job is too big or too small. With free estimates and a 1-year warranty, Apex Electric is your premier contractor on the Treasure Coast. AAPEXElectricinc.com.
This is Elaine R. Davis
and Annette Robbins with the Real Team at ROG, Engage, and One Lux.
We are top producing real estate team on the Treasure Coast and proud supporter of V.
Contact us with any of your real estate needs or questions.
For more information, visit ElaineRDavisRealtor.com.
And let us be the key to your real life paradise.
Beach Bowls is a family-owned and operated cafe located in beautiful downtown Fort Pierce and St. Lucie West. They offer delicious homemade smoothies, bowls, sandwiches, and salads made with fresh food from local farmers. Visit beachbowlsfortpierce.com.
Welcome back to Health Revolution with V. I am your hostess, Veronica. You can just call me V, of course. And I'm here with Dr. Shelley Anderson. How exciting, with Terrapin Chiropractic. If you missed the first half, make sure you go to eatingwithv.com because you want to catch what Dr. Shelley had to say. We had a lot of great information and we still have more to go. So welcome back, Dr. Shelley.
Hello.
Hi. So I do want to dig into a couple of things because you have a very interesting background and your experience. And so I would love for you to share more about being a Life University graduate. What is that exactly?
Life University is a very prestigious chiropractic college. It is noted as one of the top chiropractic colleges in the world. There's mainly only a handful of other ones that still actually teach chiropractic philosophy. Sherman in South Carolina is another great one. Palmer teaches, they're the originals. So they teach philosophy, but even they're starting to phase it out as more as the medical community is starting to dominate the industry as well. Wow. So most of the schools have more of a medical paradigm and are getting away from philosophy. I can't think of the name, but there's also another great school in New Zealand as well.
So they're teetering away from the chiropractic end and going more towards a medical-based.
This is in my opinion only.
Gotcha.
Just putting that out there.
This whole show is opinions, by the way.
But in my opinion, yes, they are starting to get away from that. I almost feel like they're just trying to turn this into physical therapists in a sense. I'm all about chiropractic. I feel the adjustment is key. The subluxation is the cause of the problem in the body, and you need to address that. You're not going to use e-stim to get it to go away, although these are all valid, very useful things, and I do use them in my office if there's muscle injuries and things like that, but the chiropractic adjustment is always first.
Sure.
So many patients have come to my office, and sadly have never even had a chiropractic adjustment, but they've been to chiropractors. I'm like, oh, what'd they do? Oh, they put the buzzy thing on me with the heat, or they did this weird wand thingy with me, or they laid me on this table that had a roller. I'm like, and that's what they think chiropractic is. And that's one of my pet peeves, because that is not chiropractic, that is physiotherapy. And they are very valid, but that is not chiropractic.
Sure. Yeah, there's a big difference between getting therapies and getting an actual adjustment.
Right.
That's a huge difference. So can you tell us a little bit more, too, about some of the therapies that you provide in your office along with their chiropractic treatment?
So adjustment is always first and foremost. And then I feel if they need something more, I will add in things. Like I have a patient who had really severe numbness and tingling she injured her back so bad that the nerve almost just completely got knocked out. And although we got the back pain better, the nerve pain, not so much the pain, but the numbness wouldn't come back. So I have a vibration plate, which is neuromuscular therapy, which is reconnects the brain to the musculoskeletal system in a sense.
Wow.
So I would just have her stand on the vibration plate. And after 2 sessions with the adjustment, it's always with the adjustment first, though, she started getting sensation back and the numbness starting to go away. So it just helps move lymphatic fluid around, helps move fluid around in the muscles. It's great. I like to stand on it after I work out because it helps move lymphatic fluid out of the muscles as well. It's great for patients who have had stroke, just to help reconnect their peripheral nervous system as well.
Interesting stuff.
So
I didn't even know about a vibration plate. That's very exciting.
So
people who need, like, say someone, because I actually had a doctor tell me that I needed to have lymphatic drainage. I was having some kind of reaction to other people's COVID vaccine, like a shedding type of situation. And it was affecting my body similar to as if I had the vaccine, right? So I had to do like a detoxification, my lymphs, some kind of a lymphatic detox. And so something like that would be beneficial to someone who needs to.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to replace a lymphatic massage, which those are very important for those who need them. But it does just help move things around, helps get lactic acid out of the muscles. People who are very clumsy, like it has a wobble portion to it, so you actually can wobble on it, that's what really helps reconnect the nerves in the musculoskeletal system.
That is fascinating.
But,
fascinating. So you can learn about all of this stuff from Dr. Shelley.
I like to do a lot of extremity work also, patients who have shoulder issues, ankle issues, knee issues. But I always go to the spine first. You got to clear the spine. If fixing the spine doesn't fix it, then you go to an extremity. Because I have a lot of knee patients who I don't even touch their knees, and their knees get better just simply by getting the pelvis in proper alignment.
That's fascinating.
It's going to change the way you walk.
How exciting.
So there's a couple other things too. Like I do have an ultrasound unit that I use in my office, but it's mainly for patients who come in with sprain strain injuries, just to help get rid of the inflammation and help to expedite the healing process of that muscle region.
That's awesome.
And exercise. I'm big on exercise. So once, like a lot of my personal injury patients, once they get to that point of they're getting stabilized, then I show them exercises and have a mat on the floor and have them actually do them so they can also learn to do them at home and help them strengthen their core again.
So you're doing almost like a physical therapy with them too. The doctor of all trades.
They all go hand in hand. I mean,
Yes,
it's
of
always
course.
about the adjustment, but there's other things you need to do to help strengthen because if you get real bad enough injured, you're going to get muscle atrophy, and you're going to have to rebuild that and strengthen and stretch at the same time to help your body function better.
Yeah, of course. Exercise is so important. I mean, we, as we get busy and stuff, we get away from it. I know me personally, it's like, oh my gosh.
It's hard.
It is hard to keep finding time in your schedule to keep adding in more things. But our health is number one. I say it 100 times a week, probably. Our health is our wealth.
It's true.
If we're not healthy, it affects every other area of life.
If you don't make time for your health now, you're going to be forced to make time for your disease later.
Absolutely. 100%. Well said. I agree. So can you tell us real quick your website before we take the break? We have more, so don't go away. But give us your website,
It's
please.
terrapinchiro.com.
Can you spell that out?
Terrapinchiro.com.
Yeah, it's spelled a little uniquely. So don't go away. We hope you'll watch our local commercials. Those are the people that help us support the show. And we'll be back in just a moment. The Health Revolution with V Show is your hub for all things integrative, holistic, and natural health on the Treasure Coast. If you are in the natural health arena and would like to be on the show and or advertise with us, please visit eatingwithv.com and click Health Revolution with V. Is your insurance company telling you that you have to replace your roof? Nice Roofing is a family and veteran-owned and operated local business. Choose peace of mind and quality work with this Owens Corning Platinum Certified contractor. Join thousands of satisfied customers. Visit niceroofing.com.
The Porch Factory is the #1 screen company on the Treasure Coast. Right now, we're offering screen repair. For $99, you'll get a screen inspection twice a year and first priority service if a storm comes. Enclose it so you can use it. Visit theporchfactory.com. That's theporchfactory.com.
At Your Body Bliss, our passion is creating handcrafted bath and body products for your entire family. From our hand-poured soaps and authentic Castile soap to incredible lotions and more, all made with ethically sourced quality ingredients. With love from our family to yours, yourbodybliss.com.
Welcome back to Health Revolution with V. I am V, and I have with me Dr. Shelley Anderson. I hope you have not missed all of her amazing show because we still have her, and we're still going to ask her more questions, but we don't want you to miss out on all of the awesome information that she gave us at the beginning. So visit eatingwithv.com, and you'll be able to see all of the shows. You'll see Dr. Shelley's show and other amazing shows. So let's get back to it because Dr. Shelley has a lot of great information. So welcome back again.
Hello.
I would really, really, really like to talk about this certified Webster's technique that was in your bio. So can we talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so Larry Webster created this technique that benefited pregnant women and helped them have better pregnancies, better deliveries, and babies were in proper positioning for the delivery. So what it is this analysis of the pelvis and the sacrum to properly get the pelvic area and sacrum in proper positions so the uterus can have the most amount of room for baby to be in there. Uterus is baby's house, right? The uterus is attached to the pelvis and the sacrum. So if your pelvis and sacrum are out of alignment, like this here, if this area is twisted at all, it's going to affect the shape of the uterus, which is, kind of like a balloon shape in here, which is going to make baby be uncomfortable and be in a position that may not be ideal. So a lot of women, they come to chiropractic care simply they get sciatic nerve pain. A lot of discomfort happens when you're carrying excess weight on the front of you and your spine's not used to it. But they also come to us because sometimes their baby will be presented in a breech presentation, whether head up or transverse, they call it, where baby's just kind of laying sideways, chilling. So what we do is analyze the pelvis to get the pelvis back in proper alignment so it creates space for baby to turn on his own. We don't have anything to do with turning the baby, nothing to do with it. That's your own body. That's your innate intelligence doing that. We just move the pelvis so that there's a space for baby to do that.
How exciting.
And we also do ligament work. There's many ligaments that also affect the position of the sacrum, as well as muscles in the front, like the psoas muscle and things like that. But again, we simply just make mom more comfortable. We find the misalignment in the pelvis or the sacrum, and we adjust it, and then the body does its own thing and baby does his own thing.
That is really fascinating. That is so fascinating to me. So any of you who know pregnant women, get them to Dr. Shelley. That's so exciting. You don't really hear about that a whole lot in chiropractic, like where they just like step out of the box and just say, okay, we like focus, really hone in on pregnant women, and this is why, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's very exciting, I would imagine, for pregnant women to make it. And would it make the birth easier and the process easier for her?
It does. It absolutely does. I was under chiropractic care my whole pregnancy, and I gave birth to a 10.5 pound baby and no issues whatsoever.
Wow.
So baby came out no problem.
Wow. Did you have a long delivery, or was it?
Mine was a little long, but just for other reasons. But typically chiropractic does make the delivery shorter because it's easier on the mom. Last patient I had that had a baby, baby did come in transverse actually. And after working on her 2 times, he turned down, head down position. Then she went into labor a couple days later. Baby came out in 2 pushes.
Wow.
So
you hear that, moms? Baby came out in 2 pushes. I heard that.
So, yes, it definitely made it easier on her. It also saved her from having a cesarean section, which she didn't want.
And that makes a big difference when you're pregnant, because I know, and I've studied this in integrative nutrition health coaching school, just the process of coming down the birth canals where they get their microbiome comes
well, that and baby's got to come out through here.
Yeah.
So it's most of the time they have you like this. So woo, hello. But it's
you never know what you're going to see on this show.
So so you want to make sure that this body is in proper position to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's important. That microbiome, like the vaginal,
the microbiome's huge.
Well, the vaginal birth is so important, you know, for them to get their immunity and the microbiome. Everybody's so anxious to pull those babies out in other ways. And
well, I don't think people don't realize how it's major surgery also.
Yeah.
It's not a light, just because it's done frequently as routine doesn't mean it's not a major operation. And it's got a long recovery with it.
And you're cutting open all those muscles and everything.
So, I mean, I'm all about natural first.
Yeah.
Of course, emergencies happen and you need to do what you got to do.
Right.
But I'm not a fan of the post-COVID days now where they're scheduling women for C-sections before it even happens just so they can have it in their books and make sure they have staff for it. Like, to me, you're already setting that woman up for one.
Right. You're not even giving them the opportunity.
They don't like emergency C-sections anymore, which to me, a C-section, unless you had something that had to be scheduled as a C-section, like a health issue, they were always emergencies.
Right. They weren't they just scheduled the baby.
Standard.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. Well, we have had all kinds of great information on this show. Dr. Shelley is just amazing. Can you tell us one more time, Dr. Shelley, give them your website and how they can find you?
My website is terrapinchiro.com, terrapinchiro.com, and my phone number is 585-576-7890.
And you can find Dr. Shelley's information on my website, which is eatingwithv.com. Every single show will be there. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Dr. Shelley. And we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. We want to say thank you all so much for watching, and we will look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Health Revolution with V.